he is declining at such a slow pace that people are actually sitting around going, is he getting better? Which is impossible, but he's making us imagine that. How could he be having a bad year?
It does raise an eyebrow that he gets better as everyone gets worse.
He was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real. Like legit was on steroids, bro. Allegedly. But like he had to sit out. Bro, y'all remember when they told him like
there goes the Clutch Sports allegations.
If the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player and you're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
there's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing.
It would actually make no sense if LeBron James did not use some sort of performance-enhancing drugs. He's playing in the era and the time when pedophiles.
The storm surrounding LeBron James has just taken a new, explosive turn. Once celebrated as the greatest, now he's facing a wave of accusations that could shatter his legacy. Performance-enhancing drug allegations are surfacing once again, and this time they come from every angle. Former teammates, fierce opponents, and fellow athletes are all pointing fingers, questioning how a 40-year-old can still dominate the game like he's in his prime. The accusations? Impossible feats, impossible endurance, and a level of play that no one should be able to sustain at his age. Unless there's something more sinister at play. The NBA's king is now under fire, and the spotlight is no longer just on his unmatched talent, but on something much darker. Is LeBron's greatness natural, or is it chemically enhanced? The truth, it seems, may be more complicated than we ever imagined.
EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
More
quarter
red blood
just like
cells,
you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your
minute.
red blood cells. Okay, got you.
It's the king of performance enhancers.
The controversy kicked off when Chael Sonnen, the outspoken MMA fighter, made a shocking claim that rattled the sports world. Sonnen openly declared that LeBron James uses EPO alongside other powerful substances like HGH and testosterone. His words hit hard when he said, "We have the same drug guy. I know exactly what he takes." The implications were undeniable. Sonnen was accusing LeBron of using performance-enhancing drugs to sustain his extraordinary career. As a fighter who's no stranger to the world of supplements and substances, Sonnen insisted that these drugs have undeniable effects on performance. And if you're wondering whether they work, his answer was clear. Believe me, it does. The plot thickened when former NBA player Jeff Teague added fuel to the fire. On the Club 520 podcast, Teague boldly suggested that LeBron James may have been using performance-enhancing drugs during his Miami Heat years, from 2010 to 2014. He pointed to LeBron's remarkable physical transformation during that time, questioning how someone could undergo such drastic changes and maintain such dominance without some outside help. Teague didn't mince words, saying, "Man, LeBron was on some shit in Miami," implying PED use without offering concrete proof.
Well, they was like, he got everybody, they started testing for HGH, and they was like, yo, and he had to sit out, like he said his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just, I was in the league, I remember. And he came back in, he was crazy though, bro.
That might have been the best Bron, bro. At Miami,
Bro,
so crazy.
Bro, it was right.
While these accusations remain unproven, there's no denying the sheer physical transformation LeBron James underwent during his time with the Miami Heat. His physique was nothing short of extraordinary. Muscular, yet incredibly agile, a perfect blend of power and speed. Standing at 6 feet 9 inches with a chiseled, almost otherworldly frame, he seemed to defy the laws of nature. The question echoed throughout the sports world. How could an athlete, even one as gifted as LeBron, achieve such a physique? The controversy didn't end there. On the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, sports journalist Dan Le Batard raised even more questions about LeBron James's remarkable longevity and physical condition, subtly suggesting the possibility of PED use. While he didn't outright accuse James, Le Batard focused on LeBron's continued dominance and his incredible physique, especially during his Miami Heat days. He framed it all as a question. one that left listeners wondering if such sustained excellence and physical prowess could be achieved purely through natural means.
What do you think is more likely? That an athlete would try and defy age through science at the end of his career, or that one athlete had a career that defied the limits of the human body, unlike any we've ever seen in terms of mileage and how his body holds up for 20 straight years?
Even Stephen A. Smith, one of the most prominent voices in sports media, couldn't help but raise the question. While never making a direct accusation, Stephen A. implied that LeBron James's continued excellence might not be entirely natural. He pointed out the stark contrast between LeBron and other athletes of his age, saying, "When everybody else is getting worse, how is LeBron getting better?" His comment was a subtle hint at the possibility of LeBron using performance-enhancing drugs, particularly steroids, to maintain his dominance.
He is declining at such a slow pace that people are actually sitting around going, is he getting better? Which is impossible, but he's making us imagine that. How could he be having a bad year?
It does raise an eyebrow that he gets better as everyone gets worse.
NBA Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett also weighed in on the growing PED speculation surrounding LeBron James. On the Ticket and the Truth podcast, Garnett alluded to the possibility that LeBron might be using that new Balco stuff, referencing the notorious Balco steroid scandal that rocked the sports world years ago. Though he didn't directly accuse LeBron, Garnett framed his comment as speculation about how James could sustain such elite performance well into his 40s. The implication was clear. LeBron's continued dominance at such an age seemed almost too extraordinary to be purely natural.
Bronny get a bucket on Bron right now?
Yeah, he can get a bucket on Bron right now.
Nope.
Yeah, he can get a bucket.
No way. Nope.
Nah, he can get a bucket on
Bron
his dad right
averaging
now.
25.
No, I didn't say he ain't. I don't care what he's doing, but he ain't sliding, playing at that
Shit.
defensive level.
25. Nah. Lord, 25. You still, Lord, he dunking. He's still dunking the ball with.
On the other hand, Gilbert Arenas took a different stance, offering a defense for LeBron James. He boldly stated that the FBI had conducted a test on LeBron and the results came back clear, meaning LeBron was not using any performance-enhancing drugs. Arenas firmly believes that LeBron's continued dominance is purely the result of his natural talent and unparalleled work ethic. He argued that with all the skill, dedication, and physique James possesses, there's no need for drugs to explain his success. According to Arenas, LeBron's achievements are a testament to his extraordinary abilities, not the product of any chemical enhancements.
FBI said LeBron wasn't on it, he was clear. Yeah. I know today NBA players go through 4 tests since 2004. My question was this: we don't know what the 90s and the 80s players was doing because there was only 1 test.
Amidst the growing storm of speculation, Jason Whitlock entered the conversation with his own bold declaration. He argued that, given everything that had been discussed and the situation at hand, it simply wasn't possible for LeBron James to maintain his level of performance without some kind of assistance. Whitlock raised concerns about the consistency of LeBron's excellence, suggesting that the physical feats he was accomplishing, especially at his age, went beyond what was naturally achievable.
It would actually make no sense if LeBron James did not use some sort of performance-enhancing drugs.
As the allegations surrounding LeBron James continue to swirl, one thing is clear. The question of performance-enhancing drugs has become an unavoidable part of the conversation. From Chael Sonnen's bold claims about shared drug suppliers to Jeff Teague's hints at LeBron's physical transformation during his Miami years, and the growing whispers from analysts like Dan Le Batard and Stephen A. Smith, the doubts surrounding LeBron's continued dominance have only intensified. Even NBA Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett fueled the speculation by referencing the Balco steroid scandal, while Gilbert Arenas offered a counterpoint, defending LeBron's natural ability. Jason Whitlock also voiced his skepticism, suggesting that it simply wasn't possible to maintain such a high level of performance without some form of enhancement. Despite these ongoing claims and growing doubts, one thing remains evident. The NBA, as the league that LeBron has helped to define over the past 2 decades, is doing everything in its power to protect its star. LeBron is not just an athlete, he is the face of the NBA. His endorsement deals, his global brand, and his massive influence are cornerstones of the league's financial success. With so much at stake, it's hard to imagine the NBA acknowledging or addressing the PED allegations against LeBron, especially if they were to tarnish his image or affect the league's profits. LeBron's unparalleled career and sustained excellence have made him a cultural icon, and it's clear that the NBA has a vested interest in keeping that narrative intact. But as more and more voices speak out, the question remains: is the truth about LeBron's dominance being buried for the sake of the league's image and its financial interests? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the PED rumors are not going away anytime soon. So, what do you think? Are these allegations just baseless rumors, or is there some truth behind the whispers? Could LeBron James really be the outlier in all of this, achieving his extraordinary longevity and dominance purely through hard work and natural talent? Or is there a possibility that the NBA is turning a blind eye to the issue, protecting its biggest star for the sake of its brand and revenue? With all the speculation coming from former teammates, analysts, and sports figures, is it time we start questioning what's really going on behind the scenes? We want to hear your thoughts. Are these PED allegations just part of the game, or is LeBron's legacy in danger of being overshadowed by these dark clouds?